Hello and welcome to The Secret Lives of Vegetables. Today's vegetable is garlic, and we're going to be making biryani, which is a Greek stew. What you're going to need for this recipe is green beans, red and yellow peppers, 2 tomatoes, lots of garlic. Now this is not a joke, there is about 30 cloves of garlic in here, and it's really good, but there's a lot of garlic in here, don't be afraid. Salt from the salt pig, pepper, tomato paste, carrots, onion, zucchini. You can use eggplant if you'd like. And then I have sugar, basil, oregano, some veggie stock, some water, oil, and couscous. So let's get started. First of all, we're gonna wanna turn this on to a fairly high heat. This will eventually go in the oven, but to start it off, we're going to cook everything here, saute it a bit, and you're going to use quite a bit of olive oil. Once again, don't be afraid, lots of oil, lots of garlic, it will be okay. And we'll start by adding in the onion. And any of the heavier vegetables, although it really, like I said, it doesn't matter in the sense that this is more of a stew, so everything's going to be cooking for a while. It helps if it softens now, but it will soften in the oven later. Let's see, I think we'll leave the soft ones for now. All right. Now, while that's getting going, we can prep our couscous. Now, for couscous, what you want to do is take about 1.25 cups of couscous, put it in the bottom of a larger bowl, and then I add about a teaspoon of the veggie stock, just to add a little extra flavoring in there. And then when we're ready, we're going to boil some water and add about 1 cup of hot boiling water to this. But we'll get to that in a bit. And this is starting to go. So we'll add a bit of salt now and then season it later. And as you might guess, you can already smell the garlic a bit. And let's add our pepper in. And let's add in the rest of our vegetables. So once this is cooked a bit, I'm going to add in the tomatoes. And I'll let that heat up. Now the sauce is pretty simple. A lot of the flavor, or most of the flavor, is going to come from the garlic and the onions and then just the salt. But just to give it a bit of a base, you're going to put in most of a can of tomato paste. I'd say about 2 teaspoons of sugar. Basil, so let's go 3 teaspoons of basil, and say 1.5 teaspoons, these are generous teaspoons, of oregano. And then we're going to add the water in, maybe 1/2 cup of water, and just mix it up. Now this is just one way of saving time. We could cook this up over a saucepan, but considering it's just going to go in the oven for 40 minutes, it's really gonna do that work for us anyways, and it just can save us time. All right, now we'll add the wine in. So I'd say maybe 3/4 of a glass of wine. And then you can save the last quarter for yourself. All right, so let's check on this. Now the oven is currently set at about 375. We'll be getting this in pretty quick. Now it's really your choice. You can cook this for longer and have it in the oven for shorter, or you can put this in the oven right away. The main thing you want to do is render this down a bit. A lot of these vegetables take up a fair amount of space until you add a bit of heat. And you don't necessarily want to collect all the moisture because you have a certain amount of moisture in the sauce, so you can turn or take the lid off. So I'll turn the water on to boil, and we'll transfer this over to our other casserole container. You don't need all the water that's coming off of it. A little bit won't hurt, but... And this will continue to get smaller as it heats. Well, maybe I'll just do that. And stir it up a bit. And now that everything's in the same spot, it's a good time to check the salt. See if you want to add a little bit more or not. All right, so let's see. I'd say a little bit more salt. And we can adjust that at the end too. So now, if you put the lid on, and pop it in your oven. Like I said, at 375. Generally, the longer you cook it, the better to a point. So I would say roughly 40 minutes. So let's get the couscous going. So our water's almost boiling. What you're going to want to do is put a cup of boiling water into this, stir it up rather quickly, and then put the lid on and then leave it for about 5 minutes, and at that point fluff it up so it'll be ready for the biryani. All right, so you take a cup of boiling water, add it to the couscous and veggie stock, give it a quick stir, and then cover it for about 5 minutes, and then give it a good fluff, and it will be ready for the biryani. All right, so now we're going to get our couscous into the bowl. And pull the biryani out of the oven. And serve it up. And there you go. Enjoy.